disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up, bro?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel.
Wednesdays, you got the traditional way with Brett Shumway, and once a month, you got the extra scoop with Peyton Fender and Jeff Doss.
For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? Nothing big over here, just work. Work is still slow, but we're getting through it. And then the kids had a busy weekend. Well, two of them. My son, he just stayed at home, but Saturday, Layla had a band competition. Ava had a forensics competition, which I did I talk about forensics, what that is?
I don't think so. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't think you talked about it on the show.
It's competitive acting, more or less.
Okay.
So there's 4 different divisions. I don't understand all the divisions, but the one she does, she basically does a 7-minute monologue, and she can do like a couple of different things with it. No props, no nothing like that. It's just the monologue, her acting skills, and her best way to kind of break it down into a good scene for everyone to understand. So you introduce the scene, like what it's about, and then you run the scene, and it's got to be around 7 minutes. So she chose the scene from Everywhere, Everything All at Once, where the mom meets the evil version of the daughter in the multiverse. That first meeting where she realized who the bad guy is, and she's playing both parts. So what she has to do is she needs a transition point, so you know when she's the daughter and when she's the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked me to teach her, like, if I could help her learn like a kung fu move from the movie to show that transition. So when she's talking as the mom, and then she'll do one of these, then she's transitioning over to the daughter and back and forth. So this was her first run at it. She was not memorized yet because she missed the whole month of practice because she was doing the play. So everyone else, had an extra month. So she's finishing it up. She'll be probably the next competition in, I think, 3 weeks. She'll have it all memorized, but she did pretty good. She made it to the semifinals. So,
that's interesting, man. When you say acting competition, I never looked at acting as a sport, but it is competitive. I mean, acting is just in general competitive.
Yeah, I just found out last year that forensics was a thing.
I didn't
know. You said forensics. That's not even what I was thinking about.
Well, you said forensics.
Same here.
It was in CSI.
I was too.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy? She is taking a forensic class that is CSI related in school.
Okay.
They have an actual lady who teaches a full class, and their final exam is they have to solve a murder that the teacher sets up throughout the school. Like you have to. Yeah, you have to do. She's really excited for that. Yeah, they have. She gets all the teachers involved, and you got to find clues, and you got to interview teachers, and you got to solve a murder as your final exam.
I never thought about this before, but it's been years you've been talking about your daughter and her acting, but this seems like the appropriate podcast to talk about everything that she's doing, since we review movies and films and stuff like that. Never know, man. We still doing the show 5, 10 years from now. We might be reviewing a movie she's in or something.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. Definitely.
And then
She's
Angel, we gotta
more.
be nice. We gotta be nice. We can't we can't kill her.
She's more in. Nah, she's more into Broadway. So if you see her in anything, it would be a musical more than likely.
Cobra Kai the musical. That'll be fun.
I think that would be interesting. Actually,
I
there's
don't
more
know.
than
Don't
enough
say that,
Anything
drama.
they'll
bro.
probably, if anything, they would probably do Karate Kid the musical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know because people do not like that new Joker that came out. So I don't know.
But
The
that, but
first one was fine. The second one was bad.
you know, Angel, I got something to say, but I'm gonna wait till later.
No,
It's
you
funny-
better not say that you thought it was a good movie. I swear to God. I swear to God, you say that. That would be, you lose all your critic rights. I swear to God.
No. Well, shall I say it now, Joe, or shall I wait?
Just say it now.
No, wait till later.
No, because now I don't even care about the rest of this podcast.
Okay, go ahead. But when we finish all our introductions and you tell him, I got a question for the day if you don't have one.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't.
Okay, so
I got it pretty good, and it relates to the show. Go ahead, Gene. You go next.
So tell us. Go ahead. Tell us.
Well, Angel, there's going to be a new podcast. There is definitely going to be a new podcast.
Are you
And
serious? Oh shit! But are you serious? Why am I not knowing about these things?
Because nobody knows about it except for us.
I feel like fucking Tom Holland out of the Martial Arts Center Network. Like
and it's interesting that you keep on bringing up these superhero characters because it's a podcast about superheroes.
I know.
Me and Joe are going to start reviewing superhero movies, and this is our first week that we're going to record.
And you guys are going to kick me out of this?
It's Angel. We know how busy you are. We didn't want to hold you up. It's already hard getting all three of us on any other day besides Sunday. Besides, you and I have another podcast that you and I are working on that we're going to start pretty soon. So
really, I've been hearing this for.
Well, there's a reason, Angel. There's a reason. There's a reason about that, and I'll talk to you about that. Maybe even on the show later on. But there's a reason why you and I have we have not come out with this just yet. But this week, Joe and I are going to review the first Superman movie. This is the only thing I really didn't want to talk about at first because I didn't know if this was going to be on the Martial Arts Center Network or not. I'm still not 100% sure. Only reason I say that is because Trav has told me before that he didn't care. He just wanted me to do shows. But this has nothing to do with martial arts. So I didn't know if he would want this podcast to be on the Martial Arts Center Network. And
it has everything to do with martial arts.
Superheroes?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Transformers?
Who does
Lord of the Rings.
I mean,
we're gonna cover a lot of different movies.
Movie? Lord of the Rings is a superhero movie.
No. But it's titled it's titled as Super Flicks. That's the name of the show. It's gonna be called Super Flicks.
You have a name.
We got a name.
You have a name. How wonderful! How wonderful! Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to share with the?
Well, actually, it comes out on Fridays. If you want to know.
How awesome! How nice! This is great! Oh my god! Oh.
So I gotta hammer out just a couple little things. I gotta talk with Trav about to see if he wants to on Martial Arts Internet Network. Because like I said, I know he wants to keep main sport karate related, but at the same time, you know, Trav said that he didn't care if we had did a pro wrestling podcast before. He just wants, you know, more content. So I didn't know, you know, how to go about it, or if I was going to keep it on here, or me and Joe were just going to throw it on YouTube or whatever. I'm still trying to, you know, work that out. So, you know, but you and I, our podcast, our jiu-jitsu and MMA podcast, still coming. This is the thing. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't want to do it like everybody else is doing it. I want to come up with a creative way to do it. Number one. Okay, it would have been fun if you and I lived in the same city and you and I could go to schools, go to gyms, and interview people and be with them one-on-one. That's something that's a little bit interesting and will draw eyes to YouTube, our YouTube channel. You know, so I want it to be a little bit different, and I just got to figure out the best way to do it. Now, because you and I are both white belts, our information when it comes to jujitsu is going to be limited.
Limited, yeah.
So I wanted to have someone else on here that has more information, especially about moves and techniques and guard retention and passing and all types of stuff,
And it
different mount
gets,
techniques.
dude, it gets to a whole different. We start
Yeah,
going into
man.
sweeps,
You
and we
know,
start
and
going into just positioning and side control, and then what is our way to break? Oh man, it gets.
yeah. So I did not want us to be the lead on that. I want to have either a purple belt or brown belt or black belt on the show
as
with us.
as we should.
Yeah. So it's taking a minute for us to hammer all out all those details and put it on. But it's going to be out this year. I just don't know when yet. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to have Seawalk on it with us. He said he would do it, but I know Seawalk is busy and trying to line up all three of our
Schedules.
schedules.
Yeah,
Is something else. Now, the jujitsu coach at my gym now, Steve was going to do it, but he got busy. And he can only do it on Sundays at 8 o'clock. That was
yeah.
his only time, his only window to record. So
Of
it
course.
made it a little bit of a challenge as to how we put this thing together. And I don't want to be the main person that just comes up with the idea and how to put it together. I want us all to work together and make it different. I just don't want us. I want it to be similar to what Alex and Jeff do with Inside Scoop, but also I want it to be a little bit different also.
I
You know what
got
I
you.
mean? Like I really don't want to do exactly how they do Inside Scoop, but I want it to be similar.
Yeah,
I was thinking like one of the ideas I was thinking about, maybe one day we have uh someone who's an MMA guy on there that we interview. Maybe the next week we interview a jujitsu practitioner. Maybe the third week of the month, maybe we're talking to a promoter, and just keep that type of rotation going or something like that. That is an idea I had, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I want it to be a little bit different, entertaining, and making sure people keep coming back and listening every single week. So I'm just trying to nail all that stuff down, man, and then make sure that your schedule can line up with the recording schedule also.
yeah. I got
Because with Fist Kicks and Flicks, sometimes one of us can't do the show, and we scrambling and we do it in the middle of the week or whatever
yeah.
we can, and it can get a little challenging sometimes. So I wanted to make sure that everything is a-okay with everything, and
No, I got you.
so
All right, all right. Well, as long as can you guys at least save Batman for what we do? And I know that sounds crazy, but like, cause yeah, he
I'm
does.
saying now that's probably not gonna happen. Now,
No,
what I can tell you, Angel, is when Joe and I do Batman, since you want to participate, we'll have you on the show with us
okay, well
to
that's the
do
thing.
Batman.
I should at least be allowed to be a special guest, cause there's some
Man,
of
you can
them.
come on anytime you want, man. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the thing. This is the thing. I don't want, like, if me and Joe are going to do a show, like I don't want us to have to wait for you because you got something to do. And then
That's fine.
we think about Joe's time as far as him getting up to work. I don't got to get up at 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get up
Yeah,
for work, so we can't push it too late. Also, so I didn't want it to be difficult having to record this other show with all three of us. You feel me?
that's fine. That's fine.
So,
Got you. I'll just
but
pop in. I'll just surprise you. I'll just pop in, be in the waiting room, just
well,
like
that's cool. I'm not gonna trip on that. I mean that's cool, man.
yeah.
It's
That's
no big deal.
that'll be. I'll do. I got y'all. Just send the link, and I'll just pop in when I'm like, oh, I gotta get in on this one. I got you.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now, when it came to Joker Angel, as far as they had a smash with the first one. I don't know why. It goes to people trying to be a little bit too creative sometimes. The average person does not want to see a Joker musical. Just give us a good Joker movie, a sequel.
Mhm.
Everyone loved that first Joker movie, and for
Mhm.
them to turn the corner and do that with Lady Gaga, like, that didn't
But
make
Lady
any sense.
Gaga could have been such a good Harley Quinn, and they messed it up so bad.
She could have been a great Harley Quinn.
I like the other girl better myself personally.
Actually, yeah, I do like the little. Yeah, I agree.
I think they should have just kept using her, But I think right now I think she's pregnant, so she probably couldn't have did it during that time anyway. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that she owns that Harley Quinn. What's that girl's name?
I don't even know her name, but she killed it though. I know
Oh,
who.
it's on the tip of my tongue.
You mean
Damn,
the one in
Margot Robbie.
Suicide
Margot
Squad?
Robbie.
Margot
Mar-
Robbie, yeah.
yeah, like to
No,
me,
she's
like
great.
yeah, she owns that Harley Quinn role, man. It's gonna be
Mhm.
it's gonna be kind of hard, to come behind. It's almost like with Hugh Jackman. It's gonna be the person who steps
Hey,
in and
no other
plays Wolverine
Wolverine.
next.
No other
You know,
Wolverine. No other
it's
Wolverine.
gonna be hard for him.
Ain't no other
You
Wolverine.
know,
Henry Savard, like he might make it work.
Who,
but
Henry
he's
Cavill?
so big. That is a big ass. Wolverine's not supposed to be that big,
I
Who,
know
who, Henry
it's
Cavill?
true.
huh?
Henry Cavill?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was in the
Yeah,
Deadpool.
yeah. He was. Which one was he? He was the motorcycle dev. The
Yeah,
motorcycle. Yeah,
Yeah, that
motorcycle.
is a huge Wolverine. Like Wolverine is
it
supposed
really
to be
is.
5'6". They were pushing it with Hugh Jackman. Luckily, he killed the role. But man, like Henry Cavill's
What
even
about
taller than him.
Charlie Hunnam,
Who was that?
Jax from Sons of Anarchy, the
I
main
never
guy?
saw that. I've never seen that show.
Look him up. He can
Okay,
work.
okay. Go ahead, Angel. How's your weekend going, man?
My weekend, listen, man. My weekend has just been crazy, nonstop, go, go, go. Today I had a tournament I went to. I kind of just spur of the moment, just want to go fight at a tournament, trying to just shake some ring rust off, and
Oh, this guy. Okay.
then came back, and then kind of just been chilling, trying to get my life together for the weekend. That's it, man.
Did you compete?
Yeah. I went to a tournament and competed. I wouldn't go for no other reason. Believe me when I tell you, I would not
Well,
go.
I just asked that because I know you done some stuff with martial arts in the network. And you go on to tournaments and then compete.
That's
So,
only because that's a different reason why I go.
mm.
I would not go to a tournament and not compete. I would not waste my day. That is
did,
ridiculous.
do your students compete?
I had one student there today, but I don't take my students to tournaments.
No.
Cause just because there's no where I'm at, like over here in this region, there's
Hmm.
no tournaments that are close by my area anymore. That's like not a thing.
How long is the drive typically for you?
Like even just today, today was considered like a close tournament, and today was
Mhm.
an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
And that was today was like today literally is like a this is a tournament in my backyard. Like I can go and come back like easily, but it's
Hmm.
an hour and 45 minutes. And you know, I made a joke kind of to my mom, and this is not a rude or braggadocious type of way, but like I spent more time in the car than I did fighting. Like so I don't. I kind of that's what it's like. So that's why my students don't really do tournaments, man. There ain't nothing to do around here.
Mm.
So, yeah, but
That's interesting.
yeah,
So
literally nothing.
what? So what happens? So what happens? It's funny you say that, man, because Dallas and I just had this conversation,
My
and
boy, my boy.
huh?
I said my boy. That's my
So
dude.
so what do you what happens if somebody is a red belt or black belt? Let's say they're 15, 16, red belt, black belt, and they want to compete in their first tournament. Like, how's that conversation going to go between you and them?
I tell them you want to go to like if they like I have like my junior black belts and my teen adult black belts that want to go to a tournament. I say,
Mm,
all right, we'll go to a tournament. This is where the tournament's at, though. I tell them right away, like this is where it's at. It's like 2 hours away, or whatever, and we can go, but it's 2 hours away. Like you gotta let your family know and this and that. And once it gets closer, usually the family is like, man, 2 hours away,
mhm.
and then to be there all day and then to drive 2 hours back, they usually don't want to do it.
Okay, but
Which
let's say so. Basically, what happened like in January at the Arctic Challenge, I had students compete in the black belt division for the first time, right? And one of my girls, she competed and she lost, right? But this was the first time she lost in this particular manner. Like
mm-hmm,
she didn't. I don't think she scored a point. If she did, she might have got 1 point, right?
mm-hmm,
And I said, listen, this girl that you fought has been a black belt for a while now. Number
yeah,
one. Number two, like you train 2 times a week. Like they're probably training more. Like you're gonna have to step if you're gonna fight in this black belt division, you need to be in here not just when I got class going on. You need to be, coming here and work on your off time. I have classes every day. You can go over here on the other side of the room and work on your technique. You can call some of your other teammates to come in here and train with you if this is something that you want to pursue. Stepping into the advanced division and black belt division is not like the intermediate division
nope,
or beginner division. And some of these
Hmm.
kids that compete in those divisions, they have been fighting for 3, 4, 5 years at least,
mm-hmm.
competing. So you're gonna. It's not like fighting in your own school at that
No,
point
it's
in time.
not.
So
I have a few.
if you have somebody that might get down, Like if they're a black belt, teenage, 15, 16, and they get smoked in that division, like that's gonna be like a hard conversation to have, and hopefully that child, that student is able to, understand what you're saying to them.
I mean, I actually had that conversation with one of my assistant instructors, one of my team black belts. He went to a tournament last year, and um, it was his first. It was like his first time doing a tournament in a long, long, long time, and like the last time he did a tournament, I'm not even joking, was maybe he was like an orange belt or blue belt, and he went and competed in a black belt 16, 17-year-old division.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought and he ended up getting third. He lost. And he was upset, but I told him, I said, listen, like, I was like, you did a lot of good stuff. I was like, but now you see why. I tell you, you have to you have to be loose. You have to relax when you're fighting. You can't be so tense and these different things. And I was like, you can beat this. You could beat these kids, and you've shown that you can be on this level. It's not a skill thing that you lost. It's just an experience thing, and that's what this is. So I was like, if you want to do this, we just got to get more experience, and we have to go back to the dojo and just get back in the lab. That's how I handled the conversation. Ever since then, he still brings up the tournament all the time. I knew I should have never lost. I gotta get that back. He will bring it up still to this day, but I like it. But sometimes I tell him like, Ben, like it's I told him, I said, Ben, damn near 9 months ago, bro. I think you gotta kind of let that one go. We gotta kind of move on now. We gotta go do something else. But he wants to do tournaments. But like I said, man, it's not just him. It's the area where I'm at, like the karate culture where I am in this Northeast region. There's just nothing in Connecticut, nothing near
Wow.
Connecticut.
That's surprising. I thought you guys had a lot of tournaments
We
up
used
that way.
to, we
Mm-hmm.
used to, we used to. When I was coming up, it was like Connecticut alone had like 8, 9 tournaments in the state alone, and then not to mention everything outside. You would literally have almost 20 tournaments and just doing a local region, kind of like similar to MSKC, the same exact thing. We would have about like 20 tournaments, and that's not an exaggeration. That's the
Mm-hmm.
truth. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the thing is just whether people are willing to go and make the travel and make the sacrifice. Which at the same point, I don't know if you see it in your school, but I do know, like, I think times are different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to make that sacrifice. You know what I mean? And people, that's usually like the cutting off point. I think everyone, yeah, I would say me as well with certain things. I think we all operate in a space of convenience. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever's convenient to you, you will go and do it. When it starts to become inconvenient, and then you have to start sacrificing other things, that's usually like the breaking point for people. So that's what I think it is. But that's just me. I
Okay.
don't know if you see the same thing with your school or not. Like,
Well, yeah, man, because Ski and I were talking a couple years ago, man, and he was saying that maybe, I think he said like 10% of kids that you train that's in your school, your students compete in tournament, and that's a small number. 10%.
that could be
That's
that
nothing.
could be two. That
Yeah,
could be two.
you
Like,
know. So that, I mean, that's not a lot, and I've actually been thinking about that so much lately, man, because I'm constantly looking at how to improve my curriculum
hmm
as to what we were teaching and everything, man. And I told Trav and my uncle that I've pretty much completely gotten rid of our one steps. I teach one steps to the white belts, and that's it. And that was just to get them to get used to having working with a partner and having someone punch at
yeah,
them or kick at them or whatever. But I'm replacing all of that self defense stuff with jujitsu, and now it's I have to remember most of the time a parent brings their child to us because number one, the top two things is number one is self defense, being able to protect themselves, and number two is self discipline. Nobody really brings their kid to karate to be
yeah.
a tournament champion. Not as
No,
a white belt.
it's
You might go to another school like like what Joe did. Came to our school to improve his fighting, but for the most part, most people don't join karate schools to become tournament competitors. You know, so I've really been thinking more and more about revamping my system even more that I've done. But now on the flip side, I have a lot of kids. When I go to tournaments, I have about 10 kids that compete. So that's a lot. you know, that's a lot. I man, my shirt is normally soaked when I get done with a tournament because I'm
That's a
running
lot
from
of.
ring to ring to
I was about
ring.
to say it's a lot of running around, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Once they start competing, I'm going from ring to ring to ring. Coaching different kids, and I told some of the black belts that now, like, hey, if I can't make it, you're gonna have to step up. A lot of them are teenagers now anyway. They're not like 10 or anything like that. Being
Yeah.
coaching. A lot of them are 17, 15, 16 years old. I'm like, if I can't get up to that ring and this kid is competing, just go ahead and sit in the chair until I get done and I'll run over. So at the same time, well, as far as my classes, I think that I almost feel like I need to have a competition class just for people that want to compete. And if somebody wants to do forms for a competition, they need to have a private for someone to come in and work with them on a particular form that is based around their talents that they can perform.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm so sick of these taekwondo forms that we do that they don't really live up. They're okay when you're a novice division, when you're a beginner, but intermediate, advanced, a lot of those forms that I do that we learn, they don't really perform very, very well.
No, I see,
So
and also this is the open sport martial arts scene. Depending on where you are and what region you're in, it could primarily be Japanese Okinawan based forms that people want to see. But
hmm
I will say, man, when you see a good like AAU Taekwondo, like a good Taekwondo form that's executed properly, it is like it's a beautiful form to see. You know what I mean?
hmm
The part is how many people do you get that actually know how to execute it properly? That's the tough part. So
exactly, because I'm not a taekwondo school. Our foundation is taekwondo.
yeah, but you're not
You
a tech.
know,
Yeah,
I'm not a taekwondo.
yeah.
Like my uncle, he taught me karate, and I've actually talked to him about that. I asked him one time, what does he consider himself? If he considered himself a karate person or a
Mhm.
taekwondo person, he said taekwondo. But
But that's because his roots were in
yes,
Taekwondo. But for
yes,
you guys are more American freestyle karate,
yep,
so it's a whole
100%.
different. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I
So
was
when I teach forms, I'm not teaching forms the way a taekwondo
yeah,
instructor is going to teach. It's way way different. So
but it's like what we said, man. Generations. When
right.
Uncle was coming up, the roots and lineage of Taekwondo was a little bit closer. So
hmm
he was getting it. It wasn't as watered down. It was still more from a traditional standpoint.
Oh
Now,
yeah, 100%. His
now,
instructor was Korean.
yeah, exactly.
100%. He had the real deal. He had the real
Hmm.
thing all day.
It's okay, Angel. It's okay.
Of
Right.
all the things I thought he was gonna say, I didn't think he was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Why
Yeah.
not?
god.
He had the real thing, man.
So yeah, but I mean that's just what it always comes down to, man. I mean, I make the joke a lot with people. I tell everybody like, I'm Shotokan and I'm Japanese, like I'm a Japanese stylist. But if you see me kick, you think I do Taekwondo. But that's because of the open sport martial arts scene. The kicking is reflective to Taekwondo kicking.
hmm
So I mean,
Hmm.
all different things, man. But yeah. So yeah,
So that's how your week went and
yeah,
your
that's
weekend.
everything. Yep.
You're not on spring break yet, right?
No, a couple more
2
weeks.
weeks.
Okay.
Wait, what? For you, it's 2 weeks, not for me.
For me, it's 2.
Yeah, I know. For you guys do it early. I don't know why y'all do it, but you
I
guys get
have no
out.
idea how. I
You
have
guys,
no idea,
you
man.
guys get out early, don't you?
We get out of
Uh,
school in June.
Oh no, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know why
mid
you guys
June.
do that. I don't know why you guys do that. Oof,
We
Jesus.
start early too.
And
They
still
keep
get
mess.
out,
They keep messing around with that start date, though, man.
and still get out in June. Jesus Lord.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
'Cause it
well,
used to start
go ahead.
after Labor Day. Now it starts before.
But they keep flip flopping because I remember as kids, we did not go to. I did not go to school before Labor Day as a kid.
Yeah, that's
We
how it
all.
always was.
I always went before. No, no, no. I'm talking about me. I didn't go.
Oh, got you.
I
Got you.
always, especially when I went to private school. When I went to private school, we might have went back to school like August 18th or something like that. It was early in
Oh,
August that we went back. Yeah, we
that's
went back
terrible.
really, really. Yeah, we went back really, really early. And then in high school, still, it was like the last week of August, or something that we went back to school in high school. It wasn't until recently, like the last 15 or 20 years, up until now, where the kids went back before or after Labor Day, and now they went back to being before Labor Day. So I don't know, but yeah, we end up going into June, man. All right, so my weekend and week was pretty good, man. I've been doing I had a meeting at Champ School, nothing bad. It's just he's gonna be in sixth grade next year, so they it's middle school or whatever. So they had a meeting for all the parents to let us know what to expect. He went to camp last week. He did not really care for it. He liked playing the games, but he didn't really care for going away to camp. He said the water in the shower smelled like boiled eggs. He didn't like that. So he didn't have a good time, but it was good that he was able to get away from me and his
Yeah.
mom, and have a couple days to himself. And then yesterday, I had him yesterday, and I took him over to Canada. I had to run over to Canada, and I took him over there, and he was excited. So at first, Joe, we took the bridge. We went over there. I'm sorry, we took the tunnel going over there,
Okay.
and the line to come back was almost all the way to get back. If you're going back the other way, you're getting in line as soon as you pay your toll. That's where
That's
it started.
crazy.
Yeah, it was
What
it
the
was
heck?
backed all the way back up to get into America. Um,
Dang.
so we went over there, had lunch, we walked around, and he was excited because he never been to another country before, So he saw some differences, and he was funny. Now on the way back, we took the bridge. Now I haven't been on that bridge in years, like maybe it's been over 20 years since the last time I took the to the bridge, man. And it was funny. I didn't think nothing of it. I asked them. Actually, what was messed up? I put the GPS in because I did not know how to get from where we were in Windsor. I didn't know how to get back to the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I just typed in, home in my GPS, and it automatically took me to the bridge. So I'm like, man, I really didn't want to go over this thing. And I asked him. I said, "What do you want to do? You want to take the bridge, or you want to find the tunnel?" He's like, "No, let's go across the bridge." I said, "Okay, cool." Found the bridge, going across. As I'm approaching the bridge, I'm like, "Oh, this is nothing." And then all of a sudden, anxiety set in as I'm going over this damn bridge. I'm like, "Oh no, not now, not now," because it's been so long. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, I think this is the first time I've rode over the bridge in the daytime. Like I never really paid attention how high that damn bridge was.
Oh yeah.
Most
And
of the
was
time
it
I'm going over
windy?
there, huh? No, no,
Was
it
it
wasn't.
windy?
No, thank
Okay.
goodness it wasn't windy. No, it wasn't. It
That'll
wasn't.
really get you going.
No, what really got me
You ever
going?
hear the sounds the bridges make when it gets windy?
No, 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 no. That would have
That
probably would have
and
freaked
the
me out.
Them things start creaking.
Canada and Mackinac Bridge, both man, they sound rickety.
No, man, I've never heard
They
it.
start creaking, boy. When that wind
Yep.
hit, boy, them things start
And
creaking.
Joe, do you remember a couple years ago? Well, actually, a few years ago, it was sometime after 9/11. There was a plane that was flying low, and it was not far from the bridge, and people were on it, and they saw this plane coming at them.
Yep.
That would have freaked me out. 100% would have freaked me out if I was on that damn
Especially
bridge.
right after that, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly, exactly. But then once I get over the bridge, we made it over. Champ had a good time. He liked looking at, he likes heights, so he liked being up and coming down. And we had about 20-30 minute wait to get across customs. Man, it was packed. Luckily, the line wasn't as long as what I saw for the bridge. I'd rather be, like that, outside than to be stuck in a tunnel for.
Yeah.
Man, that tunnel. Those people had to have been waiting in line for about an hour. It seemed it was just so many cars, man. And I guess they're
That's
tightening
crazy.
up. They're tightening up, the security at the border. So other than that, that's pretty much it, man. Same old talk classes last week. That's pretty much it, man. Everything's going good. I have some new students starting uh Monday tomorrow. Got some new kids coming in, so that should be
Oh,
interesting. I got one person. They're trying to sign their 4-year-old up. I don't even know if I'm gonna take this kid. So we'll see what happens. Because I changed my enrollment policy, so I stopped taking 4-year-olds. So We'll see how this new kid does. I don't know
That's
if I'm gonna keep him
you
or not.
gotta create like a little class for that,
I
and
do.
you have to have a special person to run that.
Yes, yes, man. I wish Melissa would do it. That's what I wish. I wish.
There you
I
go.
wish I. I could wish I could spend about a year with her just being at my side when I teach. You know, by time a year, she should be a purple belt within a year,
I'm telling
and
you,
just
man,
let her teach the little ones, the 4, 5, and 6 year
dude,
olds. Let her run them.
go. Listen, go to your uncle and watch Peter or Michael teach the little kids at Kids Kicking Cancer.
Hmm.
That they run it perfectly.
Hmm.
Aiden started that class when he was 3, and they run it perfectly. It's everything they do. It's fun. They learn all the stuff. They got a sticker spot, so if they get out of line, you just tell them to go to their sticker spot. They do parachute at the end. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, I've done it for years. I just at
But
this
it
at
has
this
to be
point now.
structured that way because
Yeah,
those
you
kids,
can't.
man, their attention span
Yeah,
is
you
not
can't.
high.
No, you can't, and you can't have 4, 5, and 6 year old. It's hard. 6 year olds, you might be able to do it. It's rare, but it's hard teaching a 4, 5, and 6 year old when you got a kid that's 8 years old, that's a white belt also, or a 9 year old.
Yep, yep.
Especially those kids might want to twirl around or roll on their head or something. It's not easy, but that's pretty much that's it for me, man. Joe, what was your question?
Cool. All right. So this relates to the show. If Sport Karate adapted the points system for the finals of Cobra Kai, the 1 point for every technique, the 10-point knockdown, and
Hmm.
the 20-point KO,
Hmm.
do you think that would improve or draw more people to our sport?
Number
Well,
one,
that's a two-part question. Go ahead, Gene.
It
number
is a
one,
two-part question.
it's interesting that you said that, man, because I thought about that also, but I thought about also how would it
And
be
I'm saying
kids?
with pads. The fact that they don't have
Yeah, yeah,
pads
yeah,
is
yeah, it's crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, I mean that's movie stuff right there. Only other
Yeah.
thing I wondered also, I thought about the same thing, but I also wondered what it would be like if the judges, if you have this center, the other judges were seated at tables or desks, and they just wrote down their own scoring, their own calls, right? And the score that you saw, on the table is only the score that the center is calling, and it's nonstop. You just keep going. He just points to whatever side he thinks needs to get the point, and then at the end, you take all three and add them up, and then see who won.
So that's like NBL continuous, right?
I don't remember how NBL continuous
Because you
was.
did NBL, so I would think. I
I
mean,
did, but I mean that
when
was shit.
when Jeff hears this, he'll probably be able to say that's kind of like
No,
what
continuous is something like that. Was similar.
But
I
no,
thought they had a counter.
for NBL, yeah, that's what I'm saying. For NBL, they had that, and then don't quote me because Jeff would know this. Jeff knows everything about NBL like the back of his hand. I don't because I never competed in it.
Hmm.
But I thought from what I heard was that they did that. They did the counter, and then if you like punch people in the face or something, the penalty points
When
they did the counter, and then they would subtract the score or something.
I don't remember them anteing up my scores like that. But I didn't do continuous also. I did
They
did
did.
total.
I know you did add up scores because you would hear some crazy like 121 to 120 or something crazy. Like you would hear some
I only did point fighting.
ridiculous
I never
scores.
did continuous, so I don't know
Okay.
how they did
For
the
for for
continuous.
Yeah.
continuous, they did something like basically everything you just said was like kind of like a continuous,
Now,
except no knockdown, no knockout.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything would be fine, Joe. I think. I mean, it'd be really, really interesting, but you can't have the knockouts.
I agree.
If you have the knockouts, you
I
are
agree.
entering. Here come the what you
Commission.
call it. The commissions. They're
Hmm.
definitely jumping in, and I mean, I don't know how many parents is going to put their kids into that, where the kid can get
Not
knocked out,
enough.
and you're dealing with concussions and all of that.
And
This
I
is
was
what
thinking
happened.
like
Do they
that
have
puts us
knockouts?
borderline.
Do they
That
have
puts us
knockouts?
borderline kickboxing.
Do they have knockouts when it comes to the Golden Gloves for kids? Do they have knockouts?
Good question. I don't know.
So, like, yes and no. Like, yeah, you can get knocked out, but like, I'm not. Yeah, I would just say yeah. Like, yeah.
See, yeah, man, I don't.
But this is my thing, right? Once you, because I'll tell you exactly what would happen, Joe. The knockouts will bring eyes to the sport, and the knockdown will bring eyes to the sport. But what's going to happen is everyone would say, yeah, that's perfect, or yeah, not everyone. There's going to be people who are going to say that's not the type of sport we do. We don't do that, right?
It's not, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
There's going to be people that are going to say, oh, we should do it, whatever, right? And what's going to happen? People are going to do it. They're going to sign up until they're the ones that it happens to, and then once
Right?
it happens to them, then they're going to say, wait, I don't like this. Oh, I don't condone this. You know what I mean? And we've seen this time and time again. We've seen this happen in sport karate with a bunch of other things. And me personally, man, like, let's.
If you
It goes back to what we always say. If we try to be like UFC, then why don't we just go and do UFC? Why are we trying to still be karate, but try to be like UFC? Like, it doesn't make sense. We've talked about that with karate combat. Karate combat now allows you to ground and pound, take them down. You can like do all this, but you can't submit them. At that point, we're almost like you're literally like the one line that stops you between MMA and a karate combat fight is the part of submissions that you do 5 seconds, you let them back up. Like that's literally those are the little like things. At that point, man, just go and do the full thing.
I agree.
Yeah. So, but that was
yeah
a good question, though. That's a good
yeah
question.
the knockout thing is that's real dangerous right there, man. Because
I agree.
You
And it's the
taking on
fastest way to
some
win the
legal.
fight. It's the
Yeah,
fastest way
but
to win the fight.
you are taking on some legal issues if
Yeah, and then
if some
Exactly.
and
parent if
also
some parent you know or some grandparents see their baby laid out on the mats, man, like they're
But
going
it
to
just
somebody's going to sue, especially if you're fighting against a rival person and your
yeah,
kid gets hurt.
yeah,
That
it, it sucks that I feel like that's what would boost our sport, but it's not right because everyone wants to be like, oh, we're just playing a game of tag. But guess what? When our people transition to a full contact sport, who's the one they have the most trouble with? The point spotters.
yeah.
So you think our game of tag is just tag and that we don't know how to bang? We know how to bang. We just control it because yes, this is a game. We're playing a chess game with people.
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay, it's not tag. People get hurt all the time in point sparring,
yep,
Yeah.
but we're not trying to knock each other out most of the time. We're not trying to kill each other. This is a different kind of game, and we
I
can still
also
hold our own.
I also
So
have two things to say to that, and then we could go ahead and move on to the next topic.
yeah,
Two
for
things I
sure.
was gonna say was just this. One, the first thing is I agree with what you said, Joe. And I used to always I make the joke about it, and I always say it like, you know, Raymond Daniels. We'll just use Raymond, right? Raymond would throw the same spin kick he's knocking people out with in glory kickboxing that he's throwing in point karate. Only difference
Yeah,
is he may not you wouldn't see Raymond throw as many spin kicks to the head as much. In glory, he'll throw them things and he's trying to knock your head, like literally put it into the stands, right? And
Hmm.
that's the control factor. The one thing I will say also why we should never have the knockout thing is, and Gene, I feel like you would agree with me as soon as I say it, we are not real promoters. We actually like we have a
Hmm.
false sense of what we think people want to see. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this all the time. When I try to explain to like my friends or outside people what open weight is, they say, "But why is the guy who's 200 plus fighting the person who's 139 pounds or less, or 160 pounds? Like that doesn't why." Like that doesn't
that's
make
why
sense.
it's called open weight.
And I try to tell them, I'm like, listen, man, to a certain degree, it doesn't like in reality, the heavyweight should be able to beat us if we were going off of the knocked out and the knockdown and all that. Like they would just run right through everybody.
Yeah.
There would be no chess match to what we do because then it's just built on. Well, if you know you have someone smaller, what are you gonna do? You're gonna bang them up. It's just that's the realness of it. So I always just think it's so interesting. Like you give these promoters that type of power to do knockdown and knockouts. They're not real promoters. They're not gonna know how to do this. They don't know what the real repercussions are of these things. So
Now,
my, my,
you got
my
something else?
no, I was just gonna say that's just my 2 cents.
I got two things, Angel, because growing up, like open weight wasn't a thing for me
Yeah,
when
Yeah, me
in
neither.
tournaments, right? So I had a question. So what is more prestigious, being the open weight
Yo,
winner or the overall?
we've talked about this so much, and I have told people if you really go through it, if you look at the universally around the world, open weight is the most prestigious thing you can win. If you go overseas and you say you won open weight, that's a high accomplishment, like the highest you can get at a tournament. If you were to tell people overseas, "Oh, I won the overall grand championship," they're gonna say, "What is that?" And then if you tell them, "But I lost the open weight," they're gonna be, "Oh, so you lost." They're not gonna say like, "Oh, good job, you won the overall grand," right? But I think over here, the way everyone has described it is like wherever the best people are, if the better people are in open weight, then it should be open weight.
I don't know how it would feel if I won open weight but got third in my division. I don't
Yes,
know how it would feel.
this is where, and this is where, like, but then this is where if you explain to MMA guys and kickboxing guys, yeah, I'm the number 3 rated person in my division, but I've won open weight overalls a couple times. They're gonna be like, yeah, but what matters more is divisions, because in your division you should be a champion in your division. You know what I mean? Hey, the argument is so freaking weird. Like, it's so weird to me. I have my own
Just
thoughts
win them
about.
both, and you're good.
I've never even thought about it before until you guys just had.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
listening
No,
to any of the
it's
conversations
not
before.
even. I'm not even trying to be funny, Gene. Like before you ever asked this, this has been ever since open weight came out. It's been an ongoing discussion that everyone always asks. What's the most prestigious thing to win?
And then the last thing to what Joe said, what do you do about the referees? Because in this type of situation, you got to fly referees in. Like I would not want a rival school to be judging my students in this, especially if you don't know what the judges are scoring or calling. You don't know
True.
somebody that doesn't like your school or doesn't like your instructor. They could be one of those judges and you don't see the points that they're giving. They could give that other person 20 points and the person only scored 2 points, but they're just trying to help them out. Like you almost will have to fly in judges who are, not biased to anybody, you know. But that would be interesting. That is a good topic.
Yeah, that's what they always say. That's why it's Joe. That was a good question, man. That was a really good question.
It just made me think when I was watching it. Like, dang, I wonder how this would work.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. That was
Time is definitely
Thanks.
flying on this podcast,
yeah,
man.
right.
Let's get
Wow.
let's
It
get
happens.
it. Let's get into Cobra Kai.
We might have to speed
All
this
right.
up.
Season
Cobra
6,
Kai.
episodes 13 and 14. Take it away, Joe.
All right, so we start off. They're having like a commercial for all the people left. Johnny's holding the baby, waiting for his part of the commercial.
That baby got
And
big, fast as
the
hell.
the promo, I guess they call it. And of course, he holding the baby, drinking a beer.
Yeah.
But they listened to about 3 words from Johnny, and then they right to Daniel. So he was like, "I talked to that guy for an hour. What the hell?" He was kind of mad. But it is what it is. Daniel was real happy because Miyagi-Do got put on the map. They did kind of a little bit more of a piece on Miyagi-Do than they did Johnny, which makes sense because Johnny technically was Cobra Kai and switched over. So then Terry Silver saying he was Miyagi's best friend.
Yeah.
Daniel should have punched him right in his dumb face.
But see, that's he did that to get under Daniel's skin. And
Yeah, I
even saying
know.
that Mr. Miyagi and I even shared a student. I mean, he did that.
Diabolical.
Yeah, but that, and that's what I was telling you last week, Joe. Like Daniel in this batch, these 5 episodes, is not acting the way he was acting throughout the whole series. He's way more
Good.
calm and laid back, and he's more
Thank
like
God.
Miyagi in these last 5 than at any point in any of the Karate Kid movies or any of the Cobra Kai episodes.
And he was dealing with a lot. And then they really started. Kreese kind of went on it was almost like he was working the steps of a AA program.
Yeah.
He went on an apology tour because he went and apologized to Tori, and he really got to her because she said, does this really have to end? when he said, I just wanted to say my piece, and now it's all on you. I wanted to make sure you had the opportunity, and that's it. Like, kind of like his swan song. And she said, she's like, does it really have to end? And he was like, yeah, I got to step back. Like, you guys don't need me anymore. I failed you all, blah, 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 blah. And I thought that was interesting. I didn't pay attention to that the first time, but after our conversation and after rewatching the piece about you and I talking about Kreese, he really did try to make amends. But at this point, it is kind of too little too late for the most part, but not really. I think he's really genuine with all this, which I thought was interesting that they waited till the last like 3 episodes to give Kreese his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like
he was close with Tori. Everybody, he, Tori, Kim, and Johnny, they were like his kids.
Yeah.
As especially actually all 3 of them. It seemed like it's equal. I can't even say one is more like his child than the other. Like they all seem like he doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have a family. Like Cobra Kai was his family, and especially those 3.
I feel like I don't know how different this could have been, but I almost feel like he could have done this in jail. There was an opportunity where he was talking to Daniel and Johnny in prison, and he was kind of vulnerable at that point. And I mean, Daniel and Johnny did him dirty in that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like he could have had a real conversation and flipped the script on them at that time, and maybe, we wouldn't have been here. But I mean, I guess that would have changed things a lot.
But
so I don't know.
But also, 2 things happened that changed his mind.
Yeah,
Quan dying, him seeing Quan die, a child. These kids are all under 18. So seeing Quan die, and then also seeing how his master treated Kim and Yoon. Those 2 situations really opened his eyes to like, you know what, this is wrong. Everything I've been doing is wrong, and he needed those things to happen to open his eyes.
Yeah. So when we show up at the tournament, Johnny's helping get everything to get into there, and here comes Kreese again, like I said, on his apology tour, and they're showing footage from when Kreese was choking Johnny, threw away his trophies, all that stuff.
I love this.
Yeah, that was interesting the way they did all that. Like they really did a good job of kind of showing some of these old nostalgic things. And then the other thing that was killing me in this episode, Daniel's wife, man, she was getting crazy in this in her tournament mode.
Yeah.
And,
that was funny.
Oh, it was hilarious, but come on.
Well, what was funny about it was because in the first season, she said that she did not like that.
Yeah,
she like being around karate moms because they act crazy like that. And they showed her the guy from Topanga Martial Arts. His mom was acting like that.
But she had a Miyagi-Do tree painted on her face. Yeah. She had the headband. She had the gi top. Yeah. But I don't even know. She had like some white pants on, not a gi bottom. She was like,
Did you with all of that was going on with her? Did you even recognize who was sitting next to her?
That was what's her face?
That was Robbie's mom. Robbie's mom. Yeah. Robbie's about to fight, and his mom wasn't even going all out like that.
That's the first. His mom was just lucky that she got to be a part of it.
Are you talking about Cobra Kai, period?
Just any of it. Just any of it. For the most part, they just painted her as a druggie who was always running away with some dude.
We slowly saw her over the last 7 years. We slowly saw her improving over time.
Yeah.
It wasn't, a lot of times in TV shows, somebody got a drug problem, and by the next season, they're all cleaned up and they're fine. We saw a transition with her, which was good. It's realistic. That took time to repair her character.
So the fight with Robbie and Axel gets started, and Robbie scores like 1 point, and he's all excited, and you're like, oh, this is gonna go the way it's supposed to go. And then all of a sudden, that one point. That's the only point anyone scored on Axel so far. And then Axel just takes over and just starts destroying him. And
Yeah.
everyone's going like, well, he never showed us those moves before. Well, yeah, he can adapt. Any well-rounded martial artist can adapt.
that part was crazy to me. Like everything that this kid has ever done. You know basically what you saw in Barcelona.
So I'm gonna tell you, the first time I watched this, I'm thinking one of two things is gonna happen. Robbie's gonna figure out a way to turn this around, or they're gonna pull a Karate Kid 1 and mess him up. So of course that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't as dramatic as like when they messed Daniel up pretty bad in any of the movies. This was just a simple grab his knee and rolled him, probably, tore an MCL or ACL or maybe just.
They broke his
bone. He broke it?
Yeah, he broke
I thought he just like pulled a.
No. They broke his bone because Daniel asked Chosen to fix it. And Chosen like, no, the massage not.
You're right. You're right. I forgot.
Hey, when I saw that, I said they're not about to do all this extra. I want to see how they gonna get out of this one.
I didn't even know Chosen knew that.
Because of, he's gonna know.
Yes, I'm quite sure Sato knew, and Miyagi knows. If Miyagi knew something, Sato knew it. So
Sato was breaking logs. What?
So,
but you know what, man? I love that part. I love that part when Robbie's laying there, man, and Tori looks at him and says, she's gonna murder the whole team. Like, I can see Melissa saying that. Melissa will say something like that. Just like that. Somebody does something like that. I can see her saying something like that. And it reminded me of that one character that was in, what was that, The Water Boy? Remember that Adam Sandler movie, and he was dating the crazy girl, and he was taking the test or something.
Vicky Valancourt.
She had the sign. It was like,
want me to kill him?
Yeah. That's what that reminded me of. But man, that was a real one. She was real for that. She was like, I'm gonna kill all of them.
Well, she, you know what? She gets her stuff. She gets her thing later.
Yeah.
So, Axel does this because his instructor told him to, but he's really showing remorse for it. He looks up at Sam. Sam's disappointed in him, and it's all really starting to affect him. You can see his psyche trying to break, but he's got to do what his instructor has basically messed him up pretty bad.
Yeah, and also dude, like, you got a girl on your team too. Like, why are you just constantly looking at Sam? Like, you ain't getting this one. Get the one that you got an option, buddy. Come on, man.
Terry Silver and his instructor tell him, like, dude, don't even. What is wrong with you? They're the enemy. Blah blah blah. So it's all not good. And Daniel right away says, why? So Axel's disqualified, right? And the judge says, nah, man, they were both doing a technique. I don't think it was malicious.
Can I just say, shameless plug, do you guys know who the referee was, right?
Yeah, Vidal, yeah.
Yeah, right? I thought it was so dope. I was about to post it the day when that dropped. I was going to post my picture when I won the belt, and I had a picture with him. Before I started doing the podcast with you guys, I met him. And I talked to him one day when he saw me fight one day, and he was like, "Oh, you did so good." I was gonna post him, dude. I just hope y'all know, like, I know celebrities out here, man. Like,
man, every time I watched Karate Kid as a kid, man, I always knew. My dad used to always say, like, he's not an actor. He was like, he really knows martial arts because he does not look like, and we didn't know him,
I thought he knew him.
Like, no. My dad was like, no. He was like, I could tell that is a real martial artist because he's moving like a real martial artist. Number one. Number two, it's funny that Vidal was Miyagi's stunt double in the first Karate Kid movie, right? And now he looks like Miyagi now.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. I was thinking the same thing. They
should have used him instead of that damn CGI from Miyagi.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of that, so all this is happening, and Daniel and his daughter are talking to each other, and everybody goes to bed. And Daniel, of course, has a dream, and he's at Miyagi's place, and he's doing the sandpaper, and he's trying to figure out what Miyagi would do. And then all of a sudden, like, all the skeletons come crawling out from everywhere, and Daniel's getting ready to fight, and all of a sudden Miyagi shows up out of the smoke out of nowhere and starts kicking the crap out of people. And it's so funny because he's literally doing the same exact fight he had the last time he fought the skeletons.
Yeah.
So like there's pretty much nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does the flip, he does the punch, he does the double knee.
And then him and Daniel do the wheel technique. Did you peep that out?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was crazy because, and then I was like, okay, are they going to have him talk? And of course, he does talk, and he gives Daniel the answer. He says, and you know exactly what Miyagi's going to say.
Yep.
He's going to tell Daniel not to fight.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't like the CGI. I didn't like the CGI.
No, it was dumb.
I didn't like it. Didn't. I've seen deep fakes that look better than that. Like I didn't think that looked. I don't know why it didn't look better. Even when he had his back turned, and we see a real person. It's not CGI. It's a real guy fighting. The guy's wig looked bad. Like how I was thinking, like how could they get somebody that had real hair that could be like
it was bad.
Miyagi? You know,
it was bad. When Daniel wakes up in the morning, his daughter has a talk with him, and right away he kind of knows that she's decided she's not going to fight. Her reasoning was interesting because, yeah, she was okay. She's basically like, you know, Miyagi-Do can't really win at this point. Fighting for revenge for Robbie makes no sense. But Tori needs this more than her. Like, she's got stuff going on. Tori doesn't really have a lot going on. So she basically says, you know, I'm doing this because I want Tori to have the chance to win, and hopefully, you know, she can help out. And at this point, when that happened, I was a little upset because I did want the Tori Sam rematch, even if Tori won it. But I knew what they were trying to do. I said, the show's called Cobra Kai. They're trying to bring this all full circle. And I figured that,
I didn't see it. I did not see it.
Yeah,
coming.
I had to
figure out how they were going to do it.
Oh, I was sitting there going, I was like, okay, I didn't quite foresee how they were going to do it, but I knew that's what they were trying to do. And the way they did it was good because they did catch me at the end. But I knew Miguel was going to come back. At that point, I was like, okay, Miguel's obviously coming back. The very end, the last episode, I won't get into yet, but that one got me. I didn't think they were going to do that. That was interesting. So Johnny's upset. Johnny wanted, you know, he still wanted them to try. He was thinking, oh, we're going to make up this 40-point deficit or whatever it is. And Daniel has to explain it to him. And then he leaves to go talk to John Kreese.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the way. First off, he has a very emotional conversation with John Kreese. They're both crying. Eventually they hug, and they kind of bury the hatchet.
I think
per se.
I don't know about you guys. I think that conversation and the way they did it is up there with that Rocky Balboa when he was talking to his son. I think. Yeah,
but this was a long time coming.
Yeah,
this looks like this was a long time coming.
I think that's what they were going for, but like that conversation, I think we're gonna start seeing people reference that for years to come. Like that was a good one. Like that was.
It was powerful.
Yeah, it was a powerful scene. It was.
That's 35 years coming, man. Yeah. Like that's a lot of emotion built up. And Johnny got real.
Thank God they did it because I feel like I've been waiting for that conversation since season 1.
I didn't know if they were ever going to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad.
If I was in the crowd, if I was part of the Saikai Taikai, everybody should have been pissed because they didn't have any match that day. Everybody got dressed and came there.
Okay, but the way this episode ended was great. I loved every second of it because after that he tells Kreese, this is what you could do to help me. So basically, he must have told Kreese, give me Cobra Kai back, because Johnny next comes out, AC/DC. He comes out Back in Black. It's Tori. It's Miguel. And I was like, oh, let's fucking go. And I don't care. I'm dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah.
When I heard that song and he came out, I was like, you can't get any better than this, right? And then they do. The very last episode, they even topped it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
will say,
what?
I'm with you on that, Joe. Like I was when I started seeing it, and I started seeing when they were going after the conversation with Crease. I said, okay,
Yeah.
now you're doing something. Okay, like okay,
Yes.
it was worth the 3-part season 6 finale. I could take that.
I agree because I was starting to wonder, but when they all walked out back, like I was just like, yes. And the funny thing is, the Seikai Taikai director, he played it so smooth.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
He
did.
acted like okay,
Axel.
Miyagi-Do's out, Cobra Kai is pretty much eliminated, but Tori is still gonna fight. And then he's like, wait a second, we do have a second fighter
Right.
and a coach. And it was just like, and the Iron Dragon, everybody, including Terry Silver, started freaking out. Like that one messed them up.
Well, I mean, if I was Sensei Wolf, I would have. I agree. I was like, this is bullshit. They lost. Like, what's going
I
on?
would have protested.
Oh, whatever. It was bullshit that they were even back. They lost too. They got
No.
back on a technicality.
No, that was Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never
That
mind.
was Cobra Kai. But
True.
Axel should have been disqualified. But like Terry Silver said, like they're former Cobra Kai. Like they are Cobra Kai. You know,
Yep.
so
Which
can't
I
really,
was just
can't really
happy
argue.
because
which I thought that was a perfect. I thought that was watching Terry Silver's face was actually good because
Yeah, it was.
it like how Joe said, it just brought back the full circle. Their former Cobra Kai. Like that's
that's the thing. But Miguel needed to be the one to help because Miguel is the original Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
He was Johnny's only student
Yeah.
for what, weeks, months. He
Yeah.
was Johnny's only student. He was the number one. That's who put Cobra Kai on the map. And then everybody started coming back.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was great. And then to make it even better, Daniel actually went and worked it out to give Johnny his gym back.
Yeah.
That's a long way for Daniel to come because he even mentioned it when he first saw that Cobra. He's like, yeah, he wanted nothing to do with it. He wanted to get rid of it. Now he understands.
Now that
both
everybody's
sides.
but now that everybody's friends now, they probably all talked about how everything happened. You know, they saw, Daniel, because remember, Daniel thought that Miguel was the bully. So now he found out. I'm quite sure at some point in time he found out that Miguel was getting bullied and Johnny stepped in and helped him. And then
these are conversations. These were conversations of pride because Daniel couldn't see past his own ways towards Cobra Kai, and Johnny couldn't see past his feelings towards Daniel and the things that Daniel did to ruin his life.
Right.
So it was just a huge misunderstanding overall, and Miguel did become a bully to a certain point.
I'm not
all the way.
You talking about because he pushed Robbie away because he thought Robbie was hitting on his girl? I mean, who wouldn't do that? And he was drunk.
He attacked Robbie at the tournament on his injury.
He was trying to win. But I get you.
But he was only going by his
teaching. Don't say you wouldn't have did that, Joe. If somebody's rib is hurting from a reverse punch, please don't tell me you would not have hit him in the body with a reverse.
You hit him again. That's the
rule. Exactly. All of us would have did.
The rule is you hit him again. That's the rule.
I'm just saying he knew he did what he was taught.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he was a what do you call it? So
go ahead.
We get Johnny. Both sides are training. They're showing this intense training.
Yeah. Did you like that montage, Joe?
Yeah, it was a good montage.
Yeah.
Could have had some more music to it.
Angel, what we need to do is start having Joe grade the montages. That's what we should have.
Yeah.
That'll be Joe's montage section on the show.
You're talking about whose montage right now?
So when Tori and Miguel are training, and also we see Zara and Axel training also.
Yeah, but there was not. They didn't really put it to music this time, so it was just kind of.
I thought music was going on. Wasn't no music. I thought we had music in the background.
There was, but it was more like training than it was like.
It wasn't no inspirational music. It wasn't Hearts of Fire.
It wasn't inspirational.
It was just Hearts of Fire.
Background noise. Yeah.
He wants Eye of the Tiger. That's what
Yeah.
Joe wants.
Yeah, but it wasn't. There was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Zara was doing pretty good, but Axel was still conflicted, and so Sensei Wolf was trying to get him to, he was trying to get him to hurt people.
Yeah.
He's talking about, I don't care about scoring points. I want you to put people out of commission. And so that's going on. Miguel's kind of feeling the pressure, and Tori's kind of had her own little I'm sorry tour with the LaRussos,
Mhm.
because they had all kinds of problems at the beginning, and so she's thanking everybody and being allowed to be able to be put in the position that she's been put in, and she's thanking them for that, which is good.
It's
And
kind of messed
then
up. It's kind of messed up. Aisha wasn't part of this season. It really is. You
I'm
know,
I'm mad that Aisha never came back, really, but that was on the actress, not the show, right?
I heard originally when she didn't come back for season 3, I heard that they said that they didn't have anything else for her, which is crazy because there's a lot of characters who don't have any type of roles and they're just kind of just hanging out in the background and
Oh,
don't
see,
really
I
do
thought
much of
I
anything.
thought she had a health problem or something. That makes
See,
me mad because
I think
she
she
was a
did.
great character.
She did originally, but I think she got over whatever she had because I think she wanted to come back and they just didn't get her to come back.
I think that was really not very smart because she
Yeah,
represented a certain character that the show needed. She was a
yeah,
bigger girl, man, and she
yeah,
kicked ass. Like
yeah,
that kind of stuff, that can be inspiring to a lot of people.
yeah. I think I
That's a little
definitely
sad.
and she was close friend. She's best friends with Sam and really really close
Exactly.
with Tori. So you would have thought at any point this is the part you bring back Aisha just so she can see that they're cool now. They all could be friends again.
Yeah. That would have been smart.
Yeah.
Um the next part here shows Hawk and Dimitri. Dimitri basically tells Hawk that he's coming with him to Caltech instead of MIT,
Binary.
which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Uh, so they're going to be in school together and solving the world's problems, I guess. And then we get to the tournament. Well, they said he's acting like they're going to cure cancer one day or something together, but who knows? What do we got? We got the first fight. This was a great fight, actually.
Tori and Zara.
Even though, yeah, Tori and Zara, I thought they did this one pretty interesting. The way they did it was fun because there's 3 rounds. In the first, well, this one was only 2 rounds, but in the first round, Zara, of course, gets in Tori's head. Tori can't even touch her. And what was she down, like 5-0 or something like
5-0.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
5-0. And she's like, she explained, how am I supposed to catch a tornado?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like stuff like this can happen. Like when somebody is talking to you and you're listening to them, but you can't hear them because Johnny's talking to her, trying to give her some words of encouragement, and she can't hear him at all, even though she's
Yeah,
looking
she's
at him
got
and
complete
nodding.
tunnel vision.
Yeah,
That's okay. Robbie took care of that.
yeah, and
Robbie,
that was pretty cool.
I thought it was funny because she thought Robbie was going to come over and try to tell her to get her shit together. And he just said, "I love you."
Yeah, that's it.
Just pulled that out at the right time.
He's been a different character, this season, and I think in season 5 he was a little bit different.
He's come a long way, and
Yeah,
and all together, he's really had a whole lot. Him and Tori. That's why they're so perfect for each other, because they
yeah,
both have been on both sides. They both have been, considered good, bad, and all this stuff, and then so they've had to really overcome a lot of obstacles. So just the "I love you" from Robbie and the confidence from everybody else. She came out a lot more focused and had no problem taking out Zara, to the point where Zara now was on the defensive and Tori was just bringing it to her. She scored like 5 points in a row. Then she scored a knockdown.
hmm
And then she hit this girl with a big old kick right across the face, knocked her out, knocked a bunch of teeth out.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a mess.
When I
Which
saw it, when I saw that, I thought about Jax from no, is it Jax or Ray or whatever from Bloodsport when
Oh yeah.
he knocked him and he was like, "That's why they call this thing Bloodsport, kid." I saw that. I thought it was lame. I thought about like literally that line. I almost said it, so that's what I thought about.
But yeah, she messed Zara up, and like she been wanting to do that to Zara for a minute. So
How do you feel about the nickname that Tori got?
Toothless,
Tooth Fairy. The Tooth
Tooth
Fairy.
Fairy, yeah,
That's
Tooth
dope.
Fairy.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, but it's I don't know how I feel about it. Like I like it on one hand, but just I don't know. It don't seem like really tough. It doesn't seem like a tough name, but I get it.
That's dope.
You know, she's knocking people's
I,
teeth out, so I get
That's
it.
dope.
I'll tell you one thing: Silver and Wolf are not happy,
No, they wasn't.
especially because okay, now so that makes Tori the champion of the women.
Hmm.
It doesn't give him caught up in points, but it helps him.
Yeah.
And then Miguel, he's got a card for Sam, and Sam has talked about going to Okinawa. He finds the paperwork. I thought they were gonna let that get in his head and mess up his fight.
They
I'm
wanted you
glad
to
they
think
didn't.
that. Yeah.
I know they
Yeah.
wanted us to think that because I was like, come on, man. We don't need more drama. Just get to the fighting.
Did you notice what that card was? That card was the same card that she gave him when he was in the
Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
after he got his back broken. Angel.
Um,
I did
so
not
he
know
has a conversation with her
Yeah, it
about it.
said
Huh?
it says you occupy my thoughts or something. Uh, Sam went to the hospital, and what was that, season 3?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when Hawk was talking with Miguel when he was in the hospital, she gave him that exact same card. So I thought that was pretty slick that they added that card
Huh.
back. They brought it
They
back
like
around.
to do they like
Yeah,
to
they
bring
do.
back all that nostalgia and stuff like
Yeah,
that. They like playing that, especially between the movies and the show.
yeah.
So yeah, so they have a conversation and he supports her decision for whatever, and they have a nice kiss before the match, and of course Axel sees it, and so his head's now messed up. So when the beginning of the fight, Miguel is like literally on fire. He's destroying Axel. He's just scoring left and right. I think he scored like 5 or 6 points in a row for that first round. And you're
He's been
like,
waiting
oh,
to fight
okay.
him. He's been waiting to
Yeah.
fight him ever since
And
Barcelona.
um I don't know. It was like, okay, yes, I understand that. Like they're Miguel's hot and they want him to go out there and mess this dude up. But I knew for the second round it was gonna be different.
Hmm.
And I was hoping it wasn't. I was kind of hoping he would just run through this guy, but you knew that wasn't going to happen, and you definitely knew he wasn't going to knock him out. Like that just
Yeah,
wasn't going to happen.
yeah.
So we
Especially
get
after
through the
Tori had
first
just
round
did it.
exactly. And Wolf does. He has a conversation with Axel, and he tells that basically Terry Silver says straight up, flip this guy's switch right now. Come on.
Hmm.
And so he gets him going. And so the second round is all Axel. A little bit of Miguel, but mostly it's all Axel. And what was the score at this point for the team?
I think with Tori, I think they were only down by 5.
They
I
keep
think when
showing, but I
when
think after
Tori
this one,
get
I think
down
they're down by 10.
after this round, I think yeah, because he lost the points because whatever he
Yeah,
did in that first round, Axel made
yeah.
up for it in the second round.
So now at this point, okay, for the
Johnny
third
gets
round,
Miguel going now.
yeah, Johnny gets Miguel going, and Johnny tells him, he's like, "Listen, our best chance for a win and for anything else is for you to knock him down or knock him out." So Miguel gets going, and the plan on the other side, Sensei Wolf tells Axel he leaves himself open on the roundhouse kick, and he's recently had back surgery. Go ahead and take his back out. And Axel does contemplate it, but he won't do it.
Yeah.
And so the second he decides not to do that, and he looks over at Sam, he basically kind of sealed his own fate.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, Miguel was coming at him hot, and he was already conflicted. And I don't want to say he gave up, but to the point, like, once you stop listening to your sensei and getting in your own head, you got a chance of getting beat. And so basically, Miguel starts closing the gap. They're showing old some of the old scenes with Miguel, what he went through during the fight.
Yeah, when he was getting rehabilitated and all that.
And so slowly but surely, he's winning the fight, but also he's closing the gap on the overall team to the point where at the end, he knocks Axel down.
Yeah.
And they don't show it yet, but it gives him the win overall. It gives him the win himself. So now we got Cobra Kai as the boy and the girls champion. But then when they show the final team score, they were tied.
Yeah. Now, did you notice that what Miguel was doing was everything that we've ever seen him do?
Yeah.
And throughout the series.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I
I
liked
did
that
too.
part. I liked
Yeah, I
all
did
that. That
too.
was cool.
That's a
'Cause it
creative
showed
way of
everything
doing it.
he
I've
went
never
through.
seen a show or movie do something like that before. You'll see like when Daniel did the crane, they didn't flash back and show him doing the crane earlier, learning how
No.
to do the crane, or
Nope.
doing it. It was just this is the move, and we just remember that he did all this. This was different. They showed him learning something or practicing it, and then they showed him doing it. Even his fights with Hawk, he was doing the exact same thing, and his fights with Robbie, he was doing the same thing. So that was pretty cool.
So 2 more things before we kind of wrap this up. So they have a protocol for a Thai fight. And this is the part I did not see coming. The Thai fight, the protocol is the senseis fight each other. That means Sensei Kreese versus Sensei Wolf. Now we should have seen it
You
coming.
mean Johnny?
I mean Johnny, sorry. Sensei Lawrence versus Sensei Wolf. We should have seen this coming because the tension between those two were building up ever since Barcelona.
Yeah.
But I just didn't even think that was going to be a thing. But
I thought they were going to end up having them do a team fight. That's what I thought.
That would have been interesting.
I didn't see them doing this either. I figured this would be one last time for them to fight as a team one last time against Iron Dragons.
I think they wanted to do a full Johnny redemption tour. So I think this was the best way to finish it, is to have him redeem himself 35 years later all around, including with the hopefully winning a match.
That's a bigger that is a bigger win for him.
Yeah, because they're going back to All Valley rules for this. They're not doing Sekai Taikai 1 point continuous 10-point knockdown. They're doing 3 points winner. Old school. So I thought that was cool. Now the other thing I was going to say is Silver comes up and starts talking to Johnny's family and talking to his baby. I'm sorry, dude. You're not coming and talking to my family. You would have got punched right in the fucking throat. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You would have got punched right in the throat. I don't care. That would have been the end of Silver. Take me to jail. Whatever. I don't care. He talking to the baby. I don't care if you're talking to the baby. You don't talk to my baby. You don't talk to my wife. You don't talk to my wife's grandma. You getting right in the throat. Right in the. But that's okay. That's okay. I guess that's not the route they wanted to take. So the very last scene of this whole thing, this is once I watch this, I was going, Gene is about to be right. Gene is about to be right. And it's crazy because this show they'd be killing people on this show like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So the guy the guy from Karate Kid 3 that Daniel fought, Dennis is back and he's on the yacht, and basically as insurance for in case he doesn't think Johnny can win, he wants Dennis to go threaten Johnny's family and baby.
I think he was going to kidnap him.
Yeah, as insurance. And so who shows up right in time? Which, how the fuck did he get out there?
I thought the same thing. It wasn't
did Chris swim or take a dinghy?
No, I think he was always on the boat. I think he got on the boat when Silver got on the boat.
Maybe, but Chris pops up and he just kills Dennis. He throws Dennis right down the stairs. Dennis is bleeding. Silver grabs a bottle and breaks it. And of course, they have their little spat. And then you see a thing of gas, and I'm going, I know exactly. The thing of gas spills. Kreese already flicked a cigar that he was smoking right at Silver to disarm him of the bottle. And then when Silver's trying to choke him out and kill him, Kreese gets a hold of that cigar and he blows up the whole damn thing and goes out like a boss.
Well, yeah,
You
I
think he
guess he did.
survived? You think he
Well,
survived?
me personally, I think he died, right? But I heard that there's a possibility that he may have survived because what was
Of
supposed
course, there's a.
what may have, I think it got cut from the editing, but supposedly Kreese shows up at the end of the series and grabs a newspaper or something I saw, and where it says where it says Johnny won the tournament and everything, and in the corner is, if you look at that newspaper, it says millionaire disappears, and it's because of the boat accident or whatever.
Where do you
And
see these things? Like, where do you get your info?
well, I follow the writers on social media, and I've read different articles, and I guess it got cut. So whether he's dead or not, I'm assuming they want us to think he's dead now, and I'm going with he's dead because I was looking at that boat. Ain't no way he could have survived that shit. When that shit blew, I was paying attention to see if there was another little boat connected to it. Now there is one because
Yeah, because
Dennis,
that's the one he told Dennis to take. Is the
yeah, he
dinghy.
told Dennis to get on it and go get Johnny's family. So of course there was one, but I was looking during the fight scene because they kept showing us up high looking down on them as they're fighting. I could not see another boat, a little boat for them to say. Plus the blast was so big, he wouldn't have had any time. He could have survived that. Technically, there should not have been a way for him to survive that. The blast was so big. Even if he made it to the boat, he should have still blown up or was
So
on
yeah,
fire.
but he comes through and he gets he saves Johnny as his last act of his uh apology tour, and
Yeah.
he takes out Silver in the process.
Yeah.
And so now we can have a nice clean fight, and we'll talk about it in the next final episode, and do our recap, and we can close the book on Cobra Kai for now.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you said for now. Because I mean, of course, Cobra Kai the series has ended, and of course we got the Karate Kid Legend movie starting pretty soon, a couple of months here.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the Cobra Kai people are supposed to be in the Karate Kid movie. This is Daniel and Jackie Chan, Mr. Han's characters, and this takes place 2 years after the events of Cobra Kai. And with Cobra Kai ending, what do you guys? I would not be surprised if we have a Cobra Kai movie at some point.
Yeah, we will.
Could be
That wouldn't
interesting.
surprise me, even though the series is gone. But how do you think that would be a Cobra Kai movie? Do you guys think that would be just as good as the movie, or do you think we might be feeling a little like it's lacking something because we don't get so much information?
Yeah, they'd have to really just you have to kind of do it. It almost has to be like anime, like Dragon Ball. They do movies, but they're not really separate from the show, but they are. They give you the same power ups as the show, but they give you a whole story that's not connected to the show.
If they did a Cobra Kai movie, I would really want it to be necessary, like a good story. Like, don't just do it just for a money grab. We see that type of stuff all the time when
But it's so
studios
easy
want to
to
just go
do.
for.
It's
Yeah,
so
but
easy to do. You
it
got to
kind of
strike
messes
while the
up.
iron's hot, man.
It
You got to
kind of
strike while the
messes
iron's
up.
hot.
It's like Karate Kid 4, the next Karate Kid. It's like that was just a money grab. Like that movie really had nothing to do with anything, and it didn't help. It didn't help the trilogy or anything. So why have
No.
it? Like I don't want a Cobra Kai movie to be that.
If they
You
do a
know,
Cobra Kai movie, I think they're most likely gonna do a Miyagi style type of origin. I really do.
for what? For Kreese?
Wait, what?
Because he is Cobra Kai.
Oh,
So
wait,
if
wait.
like if you,
Cobra,
if, I
yeah,
was saying if you do a Cobra Kai origin, then you're talking about Kreese or
yeah,
a Kreese
yeah,
movie.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like
I don't know if I want to see that now. We already got enough from
that's what I'm
Kreese
saying. That's
origin,
what I'm saying.
you know.
I don't think they would. No.
If anything, and not even for Cobra Kai, I was thinking about this. A lot of stuff that I've heard was about Dimitri and Hawk's character as far as a spinoff. That's fine. But I will be more interested to see Tori and Robbie and what they're
Robbie's
doing.
I agree.
Especially if you put them on a team with Axel and Zara, and those four characters are a team together, and they gotta work together and get along together. Like that'll be an interesting series.
Yeah.
I
And
can
now
see
you
that
have
happening
you
actually.
could have
'Cause-
another name for it or something.
Yeah, but that would be just like when they mixed Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. There'd be all kinds of issues until there
Mhm.
wasn't.
Yeah, I think I'll be more interested in that than Dimitri and what's his name Hawk.
Hawk. Yeah. No, I agree. They're side characters. Even though Hawk could be a leading role, but together with Dimitri at school, nobody wants to see that.
I mean, it's like Saved by the Bell, the college years. Like, I mean, I definitely don't want to see them doing karate. Like, you have to take that series in a different direction if you're talking about them. Like, I mean, maybe they can work on campus, like teaching karate on campus, but I don't want to see them fighting on campus. Like, that's like, come on now,
No.
I'm not interested in that.
For
Anyway,
sure.
all right. So that was it for Cobra Kai season 6, episodes 13 and 14. We have one more episode to go, and then we're done with Cobra Kai, at least for the time being. You guys got any closing remarks?
No, man, I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. And don't forget to listen to Superflix on Friday. I'm going to play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.